Hi there, warm welcome. You're watching Times Now and I'm Meghna Dekha. Any minute now, we'll have updates coming in from the Rajya Sabha where the Waqf bill is going to be tabled by the Sarkar right after it was cleared late at night in the lower house. But first up, we have some big breaking news which is coming in. Well, this is regarding the High Court Judge Cash Hall case. The fallout of it has now come out. Huge steps have been taken towards transparency within Judiciary to ensure that there is accountability. In fact, the Supreme Court judges have now all set to declare their assets. All details are going to be available in the High Court website as well. This is going to be a significant step towards transparency and also boosting public's confidence in the judiciary. That is essential. All judges of the Supreme Court have now agreed to make the declaration of their assets public, and this should be available on the Supreme Court website as well. In fact, at a full court meeting which is held on the 1st of April, the judges decided to disclose the assets to the Chief Justice of India with the declarations which are going to be uploaded to the Supreme Court's official website. In fact, what sources are telling Times Now is that as of now, the Supreme Court website only says that 30 judges of the Supreme Court have voluntarily declared their assets. The details are not available, but soon it is going to be made available. Well, the decision follows a controversy, remember, which here on Times Now we have reported extensively about. In fact, this over the alleged discovery of cash at the official premises of Justice Yashwant Varma while he was serving as a judge in the Delhi High Court. In fact, Times Now got you these shocking visuals of alleged bundles of cash which were in huge sacks, which were found when there was an emergency fire call which was made. The fire tenders rushed to the spot, so did the police of Delhi, and this is allegedly what they found. Stacks and stacks full of cash which was half burned. The specific modalities now to push through the transparency came after Times Now extensively reported upon these stories. In fact, what you can see on your screens right now are the modalities which will be taken in place and kept in mind when the judges declare their assets. And this is going to be finalized very shortly. Well, presently, all the judges of the Supreme Court have submitted their declaration of assets. However, these declarations have not been made public. So it already has been declared, but it is not public as of yet. Let me go across to our legal editor, Harish Nair. Harish, at the time when what we can see on our screens, sack full of cash was found allegedly at the outhouse of a Delhi High Court judge, Times Now here took the lead, calling for accountability and calling for transparency within the judiciary as well. It's welcome that now they are going to take some steps towards it.
Yes, that's right, Meghna. This is being seen as a significant step towards the transparency and boosting public confidence in the judiciary. All judges of the Supreme Court have resolved to and agreed to allow the Chief Justice of India to make their assets public on the Supreme Court website. Modalities will be worked out very soon. As of now, the situation is that the website only says that they have declared their assets, but the details are not available on the website. But but there was a full court meeting as per sources held on April 1. The judges decided to disclose their assets to the Chief Justice of India with the declaration to be uploaded on the Supreme Court's official website. Sources have told Times Now. As of now, the Supreme Court website only says that 30 judges of the Supreme Court have declared their assets. The details are not available, but soon will be made available. Remember, the decision follows controversy over alleged large piles of cash recovered from the then Delhi High Court Judge Justice Yashwant Varma, following which the Supreme Court has ordered an in-house probe, and it is going on. So, in the interest of transparency and boosting public confidence, this decision has been taken as per a full court meeting held on April 1st, and a resolution in this regard was adopted on April 1st and will apply to future judges also. This is very important. The publication of assets on website was not mandatory earlier, but was discretionary, subject to whether an individual judge wanted to do so It was in 2009 that the full court of the Supreme Court of India first took this significant decision. So what is the difference, Meghna, is that till now it was not mandatory for each judge to declare their assets. It was discretionary. If a judge wanted, it will be declared on the website. But now they have gone a step ahead. All these declarations, details will be made public very soon. Modalities
very welcome.
Of it are being
A very welcome step. Do stay on with us. Senior advocate Sanjay Hegde is also joining us. Mr. Hegde, your first reaction to the fact that even though they had declared it earlier, the judges' assets are now going to be made public. How significant it is, and do you think this is adequate?
Well, it is, of course, significant. It has been done earlier. The asset statements of judges used to be put on websites. There were certain cautions about privacy and about disclosing account numbers and things like that. But the declarations used to be made public till that practice fell into disuse. The court has now decided that the old practice should be reinstated. Though declarations used to all the time be made to the Chief Justice of the day, those declarations, the Chief Justice has obviously got the assent of all judges to make all of them public. This will breed a culture of transparency. Mm-hmm. Judicial appointments will come in with this inbuilt kind of rider that all your assets will be made public, and that the public at large is always entitled to know that the judges are in fact serving the republic, almost living.
But will this be enough, Sanjay Hegde? Will this be enough to ensure that the faith, which seems to be corroding after these sacks of currency notes were discovered from the outhouse, allegedly of a High Court judge, would this be enough to ensure that the public still has the faith in the judiciary? Because many would say this is the declared assets. What was recovered was the alleged undeclared asset.
No, this is one step towards reclaiming public trust. Public trust sometimes withdraws for various reasons. It was the judiciary's caving in during the emergency, which then created a trust deficit. The judiciary overcame it by coming to the rescue of the people at large through public interest litigations and things like that. So this is one action in what I assume will be a series of actions. The good thing is that the judiciary realizes that any trust deficit is dangerous, not for the judiciary alone, but for the country. Mm-hmm. And therefore, they have gone down the transparency route in recent days, and it's a welcome step.
It's a welcome step. I think all of us would agree on it. Thank you so much, Sanjay Hegde, for joining us. Advocate Atul Jain is also joining us. Mr. Jain, how would you like to weigh in on that? Yes, it is a welcome step. Is it adequate?
Absolutely, it's a welcome step, and absolutely it's adequate. Let me just tell you, pursuant to the 2009 resolution also, that was also of the Supreme Court only, all the sitting Supreme Court judges, they were supposed to disclose their assets to the Chief Justice of India. That was mandatory till today also. But now onwards, by the resolution passed on 1st of April 25, it has been mandated for all the sitting Supreme Court judges to publish the details on the website also. Up till now, it was mandatory only to disclose to the CJI, and publication on the website was discretionary only. But now onwards, all the Supreme Court judges, they'll have to mandatorily disclose them on the website. And yes, when this fiasco of the sitting High Court judge of Delhi has come into light, and probably public trust in the judiciary has eradicated to some extent, it becomes very important to the top judges to come forward and say, see, my single penny is there on the website for entire world to see. There is no hanky-panky, nothing at all. Mm-hmm. So absolutely this step is going to restore the public trust in judiciary once again. Okay. We should not forget, today also when on roads there are, these road rage and whatever you call them, people say that I'll see you in court. So that kind of trust despite there being government, there being police and everything, people still have that trust of going to the courts and getting relief and justice from the
Okay,
court.
so courts
they
being infallible, that is the trust which was there. If it has been corroded, these are steps which are being taken to ensure that hopefully it is going to return. Thank you so much for joining us, Advocate Atul Jain. We also have Advocate Swapnil Kothari who is joining us. Mr. Kothari, how would you like to weigh in? As I asked even Advocate Atul Jain, do you think this is going to ensure that the public trust deficit is going to be answered? Or do you think this is just a baby step? Lots more needs to be done.
I think this is a good step, Meghna, and there is no doubt that the Supreme Court judges, once they start declaring their assets, it resuscitates some sort of a faith back into the judicial system. That one step, which was something long since asked for, has now been taken into account, has been initiated, and 30 judges have already started declaring their assets or have already done so. So, which is a good step, and the judges have realized the gravity of the situation. But this should not in any way detract from the fact that the inquiry committee report should be conclusive as to the nature of the offence, if it is so found, with Justice Varma, and appropriate action apart from the transfer. Transfer is a part of administrative law. What the administrative law says.
But Swapnil Kothari, many people who are sitting out there in the Janta, they are sitting and thinking it's not just about the declared assets, isn't it? This was a case of undeclared assets.
Well, Meghna, nobody is going to declare or undeclared assets, and that's exactly where the point comes into the picture. That if there are undeclared assets, then that is something. See, these are the declared assets, so we know that. And then suddenly, if you notice, if some wad of cash or bundles of cash are found in that particular judge's house, say for example, 3 months from henceforth in the house of the judge who has already declared his assets, and you suddenly find that there is an undeclared, wads of cash, or his lifestyle is suddenly, very, very high compared to his income, then obviously we will come to know that, yes, this is what you declared as your assets. Aapke paas koi puchta nahi, paise to hai nahi, meaning you don't have some familial wealth of running into crores of rupees. So then obviously, let's investigate you. It's as simple as that. So it'll become much easier then. The task becomes easy.
Right.
That's what I'm trying to say. But this in no way should detract from the fact, as I keep repeating, that Justice Varma, which is an administrative law part that you transferred him, that he should not be there in the place in which he has been caught. Fine, fair enough. That transfer is there, but obviously you withdraw all the judicial work from him. There is no question about it. You must. And not only that, but in as much as it sounds that there is presumption of guilt, which is contrary to the presumption of innocence, but at least not many lawyers would want to take a chance.
Well, the probe is on. We are not going to preempt what's going to come out of that. But yes, Swapnil Kothari, you've made a very relevant point that it is a very significant step. At least we know about the declared assets. And once it's made public on the Supreme Court website, hopefully the faith in the judiciary is going to be reinstilled as well, despite this case which had come to light. Thank you so much for joining us. But with